Hello, this is Janie from Webucator. In this video, I'm going to show you the WordPress settings actions. You can view the written tutorial by Samuel Dawson on the Tricks Panda website at the URL shown here. Start by opening up your WordPress site and go to the dashboard. In the dashboard, you want to scroll down to the Settings link. Click that link. And once the settings open, the first thing we're going to look at are the general settings. The first area under general settings is the site title. Type in the title of your particular website. Tagline is simply a few more words that give a little bit more information about how your website works or what your website is all about. The WordPress address URL is the WordPress address that is going to be assigned to you by WordPress. And in the site address, you're going to place in there an address that you want your visitors to type in to access your website. In many cases, it will be the same as the WordPress address, unless you have purchased a domain name and have linked it to WordPress. In that case, you would put in the new domain name. The email address that you're going to use is your particular email address. It is the one that WordPress will use when they contact you if there are any problems with your website. It is also the one that people who visit your website will use if they are going to contact you. Now, if your website is a membership website, then you would check the little checkbox here so that anyone can register, and then you would choose the new user default role from this drop-down list. If your website is not a membership website, then you can leave that checkbox blank. Choose your time zone. Simply pick from the drop-down menu the proper time zone. In the date format area, choose the date and how you would like to have it formatted. And in the time format, the same thing. How would you like to have times represented on your website? In the calendar area, you can choose whether or not your calendar starts on Monday, Sunday, or any other day of the week. Under the site language section, simply click on the down arrow there, and you can choose any language that is appropriate for your website. Once you have all of the settings in for your general settings area, simply click Save Changes, and those settings will then be saved and part of your website. The next area that we'll look at in the settings area is the writing settings. In this area, you can do some formatting settings, changing emoticons, for example. Change those into graphic elements. You also want to take a look at the default post category and default post format. Once you have set several different categories into your website, you'll be able to use this one and choose what categories you want all posts to default into. You can also choose your formatting, whether you want them standard or aside or chat or gallery, different types of formatting that you'll be using. You can check the default link category if you do have listings for categories in there. If you're going to be posting via email, you'll want to set up the email account in this writing setting area. You also, at the end, you've got some custom content types, whether they're portfolio projects or testimonials. You can certainly set up particular content formats and defaults in this area. Again, save changes after you have made all of your writing settings changes. The next area in the settings group we want to look at is the reading page. When you open up the reading settings, there's just a few things we need to pay attention to here. The first one is the front page displays. In WordPress, you can set your front page to display whatever you want it to display. For example, all of your latest posts, and that way when your readers come to your website, the first thing they will see is your latest blog post. Or you can choose a static page. Any of the pages that you have set up within your website, you could set as a static front page and then have all of your posts appear on a separate page that you might call the blog page or something like that. You can also, on your blog pages, tell how many blogs to show, how many posts to show at a time, and you can change that number. This one is set at 5, but you can put it at whatever number you wish. Also, you want to take a look at your syndication feeds and make sure that you have the right amount of blog posts showing in your syndication feeds. For each article in a feed, you can choose whether you want to use full text or summary text. You also want to make sure that if you don't want the search engines to find your website, that you check this checkbox. It says discourage search engines from indexing this site. Now obviously if you want search engines to find you, you don't want that checkbox to be checked. Again, you want to check your follower settings. For example, if somebody is following a blog, there will be a standard email text sent out to that person if they choose to follow the blog. You can change what that standard text says. The same thing if someone follows a comment. If they choose to have comments sent to them, there will be a standard email sent to them as well. And once again, save your changes when you have completed them. The next area in settings we want to look at are the discussion settings. In this area, under your default article settings, you can determine whether or not link notifications from other blogs, pingbacks and trackbacks, will be allowed, or to even allow people to post comments on new articles. In your other comment settings, you can determine whether or not the author of the comment needs to complete a full name and email window. You can also, under the email me whenever setting, this is where you determine how many emails you get from your website. Down under the before a comment appears setting area, this is where the comment author must either be manually approved by you, or they must have a previously approved comment on your website. You can moderate comments by holding them in a queue if they contain 2 or more links. You can also create a blacklist of words that you do not want to see on your website. You can also look at avatars here. Set your own avatar, and you can also put the rating. You can set what type of rating, whether it's a G rating or adult rating on your website. You can set a default avatar. If people come to your website who don't already have an avatar set up, they can choose one of the default avatars to show with their name. And there are some other things that can go along here depending on what sort of plugins you have placed into your WordPress account. When you're all finished with your discussion area, you want to go ahead and save your changes. The next section we're going to look at in the settings area are the media settings. The media settings are very important. They are the settings that will allow you to determine what the width and height is for all of your image sizes or other types of media that you upload to your computer. You also want to pay attention to the uploading files section and check the little box that says organize my uploads into month and year based folders, and that way as your website ages, your media is all uploaded into specific folders and it's much easier to find it that way. Again, save your changes when you're finished with your media settings. The final area we will look at in this video on WordPress settings is the permalinks area. In the permalink settings area, you can change the structure of how the permalinks are set up every time you add a new page or a new post to your website. There are several default settings already included that you could choose from, or you could create a custom structure. So for example, if you had a page in your website that was a catalog page, you could actually put the permalink structure, use what is already there that is provided by WordPress, and then add in the word catalog. The reason that you would want to choose a custom permalink setting is simply to make it easier for your guests to navigate to the pages that they're looking for. Again, once you have determined what sort of settings you're going to use for your permalinks, go ahead and save your changes. Thanks again to Samuel Dawson and the Tricks Panda website. Check out the blog at the URL shown here for more information on WordPress settings. That's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it.